It is Green Bay game day in Arizona. Marvin Harrison looks to be playing, and it looks like the Cardinals are going with Jacoby Brissett. It looks like Calamari will return in week 9. I do believe they have a bye week next week. But Packers should win this game. Although they dealt with some plane trouble yesterday. It was like 8 o'clock at night, and they still hadn't left Green Bay because they were still working on the plane. Because of course, why would something like that happen? Like how would you not have the plane ready when you're going, especially when you're going to the Southwest where the Packers don't always play very well. But I mean, the Cardinals are so injured. They have injuries all over the defense. They have injuries on their offensive line. They have injuries to their running back core. I mean, they're down to like their fourth running back, and sure, they got Trey McBride, and Trey McBride will probably have a day against the Packers. But the Packers, by all intents and purposes, should win this game. Josh Jacobs should have another great game. Jordan Love should be able to air the ball out today. Should probably have a couple touchdowns. I like Romeo Doubs to get going. I really like Tucker Kraft to get going today. It should be a fun game to watch. I mean, looking at on paper, the Packers should probably win by comfortably, but wouldn't have the Packers made it that easy this year? They haven't had an easy sort of victory since week 2 against the Commanders, and even then, the Commies made a run of it at the end. They haven't really had a real dominant victory since the Lions. Although you can argue that the Packers definitely did win last week, they were really never in danger, even though the score at times looked like the Bengals were going to make a run. Like the Packers were never going to lose to the Bengals last week. They were never going to do it. But better be ready this week because Matt LaFleur has a tendency to lose these types of games. And with Pittsburgh looming next week, even though Pittsburgh lost this week, that's going to be a tough matchup regardless. But the Packers, they got to get some wins because coming up in 4 weeks, they play the Philadelphia, and that could be their game of the year before they go on to face the Vikings twice, the Bears twice, and the Lions again, and the Broncos and the Ravens, Giants as well. But Packers better be ready to go. Get that win today against the Cardinals, and move on next week to play on Sunday Night Football in Pittsburgh against Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if it's a Packer fan, you wish you could have seen that in Lambeau Field. But on the other hand, watching Aaron Rodgers come to Lambeau Field to win would have been just as bad as Brett Favre doing it with the Vikings. But Packers win today, 28-14.